With 7 SUVs in the lineup, it is not easy for Toyota to make another good SUV that people would take the time to consider, but what they came out with is actually pretty good. I'm talking about this 2025 Toyota Crown Signia Limited. Despite being in the middle of 2 very successful SUVs in Toyota's lineup, is the Crown Signia still a good SUV that you should consider in late 2024? Let's go ahead and find out. Let's begin with the pricing and the trim level. The 2025 Toyota Crown Signia only has 2 trim levels, known as the XLE or the Limited. But I imagine as years go on, that Toyota will be adding more trim levels to the lineup. We have the Limited, which starts at $49,000, which is kind of a lot for a Toyota SUV. But I'm telling you, you get a lot for the money, especially on the inside. So let's jump right into this review. Starting out with the front end, the Crown Signia has this body-colored painted grille with the functional vents below and above it, and the headlights are going to be quite the departure from Toyota's usual design. There's an LED DRL, an LED headlight, and an LED turn signal, but Toyota is going after the trend of putting the headlights toward the bottom. As far as the wheels are concerned, the Crown Signia Limited gets these 21-inch alloy wheels, finished in a dark glossy gray. I find it interesting that the Venza's largest wheel maxed out at 19 inches, but that is exactly where the Crown Signia's wheel lineup starts. I feel like Toyota is going to be welcoming larger wheel options into their lineup. Moving on to the side profile, the Crown Signia is going to have this piece of chrome that runs along the bottom of the windows and this chrome roof rail at the top. The mirrors are going to be fully loaded with heating, blind spot monitoring, auto dimming, and power folding. Moving on to the back, the Crown Signia will have this light bar that goes all the way across, and it's going to be just like the latest Lexus products. The reverse light is going to be at the bottom, and as far as the taillights are concerned, they will be fully LED, and I really like how the top brake light goes all the way across. The reverse light is going to be in the middle at the bottom, and I really question Toyota's design choice on that, but overall, the back looks pretty good in my eyes. Now let's take a look at the interior and see all the new features that Toyota has packed into this car. This is one of Toyota's latest products, so I'm very interested to see how many new features this one has. Starting on the door panel, this is not normal for a new Toyota product. There is a lot more leather specifically on this Crown Signia model, though it is very hard to see because we have black leather today. There's soft touch plastic on the top, some leather through the center area, bronze accenting, piano black, and a good amount of storage down below. These Crown branded door sills will light up at night, and these seats will be made of real perforated leather with extra detailing for this limited model. There is bronze piping, white contrast stitching, and 10 ways of power adjustment. Now that we're inside the car, let's go ahead and see all of the new features. This steering wheel is not exactly new because we've seen it on other Toyota products. It has very high quality feeling leather with some white contrast stitching, and there are buttons for your gauge cluster on the left side and some buttons for your safety systems and cruise control on the right side. The gauge cluster is going to be Toyota's latest design, and as you can see, it is very easy to read and easy to navigate. There are some buttons on the left side to control it, so you can scroll through many different things, as you can see. And also another interesting thing is that it actually changes with the drive mode. So that is when I put it in sport, this is normal, and this is eco. This is actually a really nice detail. There is no head-up display because this is just a limited, even though this is the top of the line Crown Signia. And as far as materials are concerned, this is going to match exactly with the normal Toyota Crown, the sedan version. So you have some leather right through here, some bronze accenting. There is some plastic right through here. And then down here, I wouldn't say that this is gloss black, but it is some glossy material. And there is some flat black on your buttons. There is plenty of storage in here. There's a wireless phone charger that will actually charge your phone, unlike some older Toyota products. And then you have 2 cup holders, another cubby right here, 2 USB-C ports, and in the center console, there is plenty of space with a felt lining, another cubby. There is a USB-C port and another power outlet in there. But the passenger can also open it from their side. So if it's open like this, they don't have to reach all the way over, even though that really wouldn't be that hard. So I think this is a really clever design that has carried over from the sedan version of the Crown and the Lexus RX. The climate controls are going to be nothing special. It is a newer Toyota design, but the toggles and the buttons don't really have the best feeling clicks to them, which is to be expected because this is not that Cadillac Escalade, this is just a Toyota. Also, you have heated and ventilated seats, and you really have to push it to make it register. Like this heated seat button sometimes just does not register. There is dual zone climate control up front. There is no tri-zone climate control on any Crown Signia model. And I really like how they kept everything physical, even though you can use the screen if you would like. Also, there is a control for your heated steering wheel. Now let's talk about the infotainment system. This is Toyota's latest 12.3-inch audio multimedia infotainment system. This works pretty well. You have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, navigation after you set it up, and to go with all of that, you get an 11-speaker JBL sound system. It doesn't sound like much, but trust me, it is really good. You can also play music, make phone calls, and do multiple other things in the settings. When you put the car in reverse, that will bring up a very high-resolution 360-degree backup camera. Also, if it is dirty, there is a camera washer, but that is actually for the rear view mirror. No idea why I thought that was for the camera itself. Now, if you start backing up, then as you can see, the car is clear so that you can see underneath the car. That can be helpful for off-roading, not that you would off-road a Crown Signia, but you can see anything that's under you, like spilled coffee. And then we're pulling up to my tripod. It's going to make some noise and it's going to alert me on the screen here that there is an object there. And it will get louder and louder as I get closer and closer. So as you can see, that works pretty well. When you put the car in drive, that's going to bring up this front-facing camera. And it still has the 360-degree view, and it turns clear as you move forward. And you also have these nice active trajectory guidelines. Pretty nice technology, Toyota. Looking up top, there is a digital rear view mirror, and you have controls to open the shade for your panoramic sunroof. The glass itself cannot open because look at that big divider in the middle. Another nice thing is that the lights actually look really cool. That's what it looks like when they're both on. Now let's move on to the passenger side and see what kind of features are over here. The door panel is identical to the driver's side because it has leather trimmings, bronze accents, and storage at the bottom. The Crown branded door sills will illuminate at night, and the seats are also basically the same as the driver's side with heating, ventilation, bronze accents, and white contrast stitching, but the only difference is that it has 8 ways of power adjusting instead of 10. You get some pretty nice things over on the passenger side. You can look at these bronze accents and the leatherette trim, and in the glove box, there is a pretty good amount of space. There is a shelf system in case you want to maximize the amount of things you want to put in there. There are 2 USB-C ports, so you can use one of them if you would like to charge your device, and there is a wireless phone charger. Now let's move on to the back seats and see what these are all about. The door panel is pretty much the same as the front. You get a bronze accented door handle, some leather trim, and a good amount of storage at the bottom. The legroom situation is just amazing, and the seats are super comfortable. The seat back pocket is on the tighter side, so you can fit some things, but not everything is going to fit. The seats are going to be heated, and that button is over here. And in the middle here, you're going to find 2 USB-C ports, a bronze accent, and 2 vents. For the center armrest, you can pull that down from the middle seat and you'll have 2 cup holders. I do appreciate the extra light coming from the panoramic sunroof, but does anybody know if the windows come tinted or if it's just a specific car? Because these windows do not appear to be tinted. The cargo area is very important for an SUV like the Crown Signia, so let's take a look at that. There is a standard kick sensor to open up the trunk, but I used the key fob for today's example. When you open up the trunk, you'll find 25.8 cubic feet of space with 2 cubbies on both sides. That is less than the 37.7 that you get in the RAV4. One nice thing that you get with the Crown Signia Limited is the standard cargo cover. This does a very nice job of covering everything up, and there's an area underneath the floor to store it, so you don't have to just stick it in your garage. To fold down the seats, there are latches on both sides, and when you fold down the seats, you'll get 68.8 cubic feet of space, which is more than the RAV4. I like comparing some of Toyota's SUVs to the RAV4 because the RAV4 has the space worked out so well that it's hard to beat. The Venza that this Crown Signia replaced could not even come anywhere close to the amount of space in the trunk that the RAV4 had. Now let's move on to the powertrain in the 2025 Toyota Crown Signia. Just like the regular Crown sedan, the Crown Signia is hybrid only, but this one doesn't have a Hybrid Max option. You are locked in with a 2.5-liter inline 4-cylinder engine paired with 2 electric motors. This makes 240 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. All of that is mated to an eCVT transmission, and the fuel economy in the Crown Signia is pretty good, at 39 in the city, 37 on the highway, and 38 combined. Yes, the gas mileage is better in the city because you can better take advantage of the electric motors while you are driving around in the city. But let me give you a sneak peek of what our test drive is going to be like by giving you an acceleration test. Now let's talk about the competition because this is probably a topic many of you guys are curious about. The Crown Signia competes with the Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport, the Ford Edge, the Chevrolet Blazer, the Nissan Murano, the Honda Passport, and the Subaru Outback. While it's hard to declare a clear winner, I will say that the Crown Signia, and the Subaru Outback are probably the best. They both have the most space in the trunk, they have some really nice touches on the inside, and they are very reliable cars. The Honda Passport is also pretty reliable, but the interiors aren't as nice and it doesn't have as much space. But be sure to keep an eye out for a new redesigned Passport. Believe it or not, this Crown Signia is 1 inch shorter than the Highlander at 194 inches long and 74 inches wide. Well, that is going to wrap up today's video on this 2025 Toyota Crown Signia Limited. Toyota did an amazing job of giving this just the right fit for the Toyota lineup. It slots in very nicely in between the Highlander and the RAV4, and I think that is going to be an amazing family hauler for people that want something bigger than a RAV4 but not 3 rows like a Highlander. Would you buy this Toyota Crown Signia over the other SUVs in Toyota's lineup? Leave your comments in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.